What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to another edition of Double Trouble. Thanks for joining us tonight. See a bunch of you on here already. Lori is on. Hit the like. Lori says that's what everybody needs to do right now. Go hit the like button. It really helps the channel, so appreciate it. Dalpo says 9:30 straight up. Sooner Surge and my cup. Proceed to party. And OU basketball tonight got the W, Hunter, on a night where they were kind of celebrating Toby Keith and everything with the red Solo Cup. They wearing the Toby Keith shirts. It was a great night. Not a very good basketball. Let's just be honest. It wasn't pretty. It was kind of ugly, but a win's a win, right, Hunter?
A win is a win in the Big 12 especially. Final score does not matter as long as the W is next to your team name when the final buzzer sounds. But, yeah, great night for to honor Toby Keith. Really cool, some of the things they did. His family was there. His son, Stalin, was seen giving a hug to Porter Moser following the game. They sat next to Joe C. in the place that Toby would always sit in the seat right next to him. President Harris was there as well. Even went to the student section for a bit. So really cool to see the Red Solo Cups, the tribute in that way. But yeah, the refs there was some pretty bad calls.
Get me out of the Big 12. You know why? I watched tonight. The refs called 3 technical fouls on OU. Even Sam Godwin got a technical foul. Okay, absolutely atrocious. And then I turn it over to SEC basketball, and a dude for Texas A&M literally posterizes this dude on a dunk, hangs on the rim with one arm for about 10 seconds. They don't care. Doesn't bother them. It's SEC, man. Big 12 is a bunch of weaklings. I'll say that right now. But Johnny's right. They've been struggling. McCollum's got to get it together, Hunter. His shooting from 3 has been bad, and he's supposedly the best shooter on the team. Without Darherd and Moore tonight, they don't win.
Yeah, 1 of 6 tonight for JV McCollum.
It's like Trey Darker is like 48 or something.
I think it might be a little higher than that, but you're not off by much there. I don't know what he went on with that, but it's bad.
Yeah, I want to get to something. Mess says great Solo Cup showing, Sooner fans. Hey, tonight there's a link that's in the comments. I think Hunter put it in the comments. It's also in the description of the video. But if you click on this link and go to the fan stop, you get 10% off this special shirt that is in homage of Toby Keith, and it's a red Solo Cup with the OU logo. It's officially licensed. You get 10% off if you click that link. They've given us that option to give that for 10% off, so we appreciate the fan stop. And please go order that because some of the proceeds go toward the Toby Keith Foundation. So that's a really good thing. So please support that. Go on there, click the link, and go order that shirt. It's a great looking shirt. And every time you wear it, you'll remember Toby Keith. That's what I'm going to do every time I wear it.
Yeah, Topher softball, 8-run win for them. Men's gymnastics got the win today. Women's gymnastics got the win last night at the LNC. So, yeah, those
women's sports at OU is second to none.
Yeah.
Basketball won again, too.
And basketball, big win on the road in Ames, Iowa for them. So,
hey,
Jenny Bronacek has them rolling.
Oh, yeah. Hunter, we talked about this today during the game. The OU players and their turnovers and stuff. Is this a coaching issue or is this a player issue?
It's both.
And viewers, what do you think? Is this on Moser? The continued turnovers have got to stop. Ron says it every night. Moser wants out. And Bobby, I saw Bobby. We've all heard the rumors.
I will give Ron credit. He's been saying it a lot longer than when those rumors first really started to pick up steam. So it seems like every night we get at least one comment from Ron saying Moser wants out. But I think it's a combination of both. In my opinion, once you're at the high school level or higher, traveling and just silly turnovers should not be happening at all.
Not as much as they're happening.
It should be a rarity And when they do happen, it should be okay. They don't spiral out of control. It's just any other team tonight, OU loses that game because of how sloppy the first half was. They're just lucky that Oklahoma State was equally as sloppy as they were with the turnovers.
Hunter, OSU's very young, but let me say this. I've watched a lot of basketball in my lifetime. That's about as bad as an OSU team as I've seen. I'm serious. They aren't good.
If they get swept,
that game should have been a 15-point win.
Yeah,
the way defense, OU was playing defense, they should have rolled them.
If they are not able to beat OU at home, I think that's going to be Boynton's final straw.
Yeah, they need to go hire Doug Gottlieb, period.
Yeah. I don't know if that's
Hunter. They do. Why are you laughing?
I know you're being serious.
I'm dead serious. Doug Gottlieb would be a good coach for them. It'd be a good fit.
Teach their own, but
hey, yeah. Anyway, it's a win, and now they're sitting at 6-5. They're in the top 6 of the Big 12 right now. And here's what you got to do:
to get where they need to be.
Well, they're not going to win their 3 home games, but they're not going to win their 3 home games. But if they did, they'd be 9-9 just by winning the 3 home games. And they're not, because Kansas and Houston are 2 of them. But in my opinion, you beat Cincinnati at home and you go beat OSU on the road. There you're at 8-10. You're at 20 wins. You're in the tournament, and see what you can do in there. Yeah. What else? Softball today. They turned it on late. Got the run rule. Good tournament for them, beating 2 top 10 teams. And then you see on the graphic there, Stutzman and Canick. And kind of what I want to get into tonight a little bit is this defense, Hunter. And I would love the viewers to comment. What's up, Chad? Appreciate you, Chad, as always. Hey, what I want the viewers to comment in here is, where would you rank OU's defense heading into the SEC? Where would you rank them right now?
Okay, specify rank. Like,
I'm total defense.
Total defense?
Total defense.
In the country or in the SEC?
In the SEC only.
In the SEC only.
Where would you rank them? And guys, I would love your thoughts on this, because it's something I've been thinking about, because we all think OU, the strength of their team needs to be their defense going into the SEC. Ron says middle of the pack at best against other SEC teams. Correct. Only SEC teams.
Only SEC.
Jimmy says 4.
I'm going to start breaking it down.
Yeah, Jimmy, who do you got? Who are the 3 ahead of them?
Georgia. I would say Georgia is the clear number 1.
Alabama.
I think Alabama falls off. Kalen DeBoer's defenses have not been good. Look at who they lost this offseason. I think Alabama falls off. LSU, they could maybe be towards the top of the conference. Missouri, same thing. They lost a lot of their defensive staff. A lot of changes there for them. I don't know how they're going to be. I think Texas will have a really good defense. Ole Miss should have.
But they're typically not.
They typically are not, but look at who they brought in. I mean, the transfer class that they brought in. I would, unless I'm leaving somebody off, I think I would agree with that.
Well,
number 4 right, that Jimmy and Mess.
And Johnny says 5. Most people on here have said 4 or 5, and I love this, what Kyla Anderson said. This is exactly right, Kyla. It has to be top 5 or it's not going to be a good year. I agree with her on this. Don't you? I mean, Hunter, you're like, what do you mean? If it's not top 5,
I think there will be 6 good defenses like that. It wouldn't be awful because of their defense if it's the top 6, but maybe I'm wrong. I think
look what Blake
either way. And they're probably both right on that, honestly.
I agree.
Maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit, but I see Missouri, Dalpois, they lost their defensive coordinator to LSU.
Yeah, correct.
And I think they had a few other staff changes. Obviously brought in Williams Nwaneri, but he's only a freshman. So I think they're a wild card. I agree with everything on that, Mez.
What about what Mez says?
Other than Bama, I think Bama has a big-time drop-off. That's not the Kalen DeBoer style, in my opinion, to have a good defense. And look at who they lost. They lost the best defensive players they had this offseason on the portal, Caleb Downs.
Hey, who would have ever thought 2 years ago when the SEC rumors came up that OU and Texas moving to the SEC, that people would be picking them to have the two of the better defenses in the league. I'll say this: I think Hunter. I think that
anyone thought Saban was going to be gone.
Well, I think the SEC and defensively, I think it's because the offenses have gotten better. The defenses have not been as good as they used to be. Is that fair?
Somewhat, yes.
It's hard now. The offenses are too good.
I mean, do you think A&M's able to turn it around on defense in year one?
Mike Elko? I'm not sold on Mike Elko, so I don't know. I think Elko's good. He's not proven yet to me.
I don't think
I
don't think Tennessee will have a great defense. They might. Kentucky, I know that name. A few people threw that one out there. They'll probably have a pretty good defense. Mark,
what do you think about what Johnny says?
Struggle with line. See, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how they could. Like, I don't think they should still struggle with linebacker. Danny Stutzman's going to be a senior.
3 years in Brent Venables' defense.
Yeah, and already one of the best linebackers in the country. And then Jaron Tannick, this is year 3 for him. I think a lot of people expect him to make that Stutzman year 2 to year 3 jump. And it's also just year 3 of Brent Venables for him. And then even if he doesn't, you have Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie, Lewis, Sammy Omashingo. Like, you just have so many guys there that I don't think the linebackers should be the issue. I would say D-line, if the rotation is not to where it should be, could be an issue.
Yeah, Mess agrees with you. It will improve. Jay says, based on what Kannick has done so far, linebacker might be the weak spot. Basing that all on Kannick, it sounds like, Jay. So I think Kannick's going to have his best year personally. I just think I don't know how you can be in that. How can you be under Brent Venables? And to me, if he doesn't have a good year or he's not ready to go, then maybe it's time to switch position. I mean, I don't know at that point.
I think if Kannick is struggling, it's next man up. Like you with how much depth is in that linebacker room.
Yeah.
Lewis and Kobe McKenzie, it's year 3 for them as well. Like
exactly.
If Kannick isn't ready, one of those two should be ready. It's year 2 for Lewis Carter. Sammy O, same thing. Year 2. I would be
Zach Alley.
Zach
Alley too.
Of course not. Yeah, exactly. Zach Alley. You have now Zach Alley and Brent Venables coaching the linebacker.
Hey, and yeah, exactly. And Kyla, another great point. Normally it's the secondary we worry about, but the D-line will help that tremendously. The D-line has a chance to really help everybody out. Linebackers and the defensive backs. Trap House booming. What's up? Appreciate you joining tonight. I think Kip has surpassed him. Hunter, what do you think? Kip or Kannick right now? Who's starting?
I'm still on the Kannick train. It's, in my opinion, it's you have to give him the benefit of the doubt for year 3 in the system, and that's not a knock at all to Kip Lewis. I mean, I've said it. Kip Lewis is a very, very good linebacker. He was making starts this year in place of Stutzman. And then even when Kannick was struggling, still staying in there. I mean, there was one game he had 15 tackles. Kip Lewis has played some really good football. It's just Jaron Kannick. It's year 3. It's the time for him to get it all together. Everything to come together like it did for Danny Stutzman in year 3.
Yeah, and Jerem would have an opinion, and he might jump on here later and say his opinion, knowing him. Kannick for now, but it's going to be Kip off the field. Where did I see? Hey, got 2 solo cups there for good job. Appreciate that, guys. As we said earlier, you can go to the link in the description or in the comments. You get 10% off. You get 10% off that. Jen got one too. That's awesome, guys. You get 10% off that red solo cup shirt, and it's an amazing shirt. That some of the proceeds will go to the Toby Keith Foundation, so be a part of that. Kannick is a Mike linebacker. Kip Lewis is a Will.
And I know what you're meaning there, Mez, but they did move the two of them around when need be, and I think they'll continue to do that.
Dude, look at this. This is a great comment.
On the field.
I love this Trap House. Kanik is Tarzan against the run, but Jane in pass coverage.
That is one of the best analogies I've seen.
That is great.
I mean, it sums it up perfectly, Trap. Like, perfectly sums that one up.
But let me ask you this.
That's the way you could use the two of them.
But Hunter, is he Jane in coverage because he's still learning it? Because he's a very quick linebacker. Maybe it's the instinct part of it. Maybe it's learning the position. Can he be Tarzan in coverage too? Or do you think no?
I think he can. He played safety in high school. Like, he was playing quarterback and safety at Hayes.
Yeah.
That's one thing that does now that
safety was more for just coming downhill and ramming people.
Yeah, I know that, but it is a little shocking on how much he has struggled in coverage. But I think everyone has in the middle of the field in that zone. It seemed like when there's a zone bus, it's either middle of the field or on the sidelines about 10 yards down the field whenever they were running zone. It was the same type of bus. A lot of talk that Zach Alley is going to change that around by running a little bit more man.
Yeah, and Sooner fan brought that up too about him playing not linebacker in high school. That has something to do with the learning curve, especially in the Brent Venables defense. I mean, it's not just walk out there, see ball, get ball. I mean, it's not. Not in that
Jared got put in one of the toughest positions you can be put in football to not only learn a new position, but to learn it in a complex scheme like Brent Venables. I mean, he got run into the fire trying to learn all of that.
Yeah, and see Trap House's comment, that linebacker room is loaded. Exactly. Why do you think they took one linebacker in the recruiting class?
Yeah.
Right? If they were worried about linebacker, they probably would have taken more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, I would think so. And Sooner fan says that's why I'm not always a fan of recruiting athletes out of high school. I mean, I think Kanik can be a great linebacker. I really do.
Okay. So with Kanik out of high school, it's one of those you cannot like recruiting the athletes, but if you watched his tape and you see that he was committed all in on Brent Venables, you're immediately reminded of Isaiah Simmons, that cheetah type of just safety linebacker hybrid. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That Jaren Kanik was absolutely a take from day one. Like, when you just see the potential, if he can put it all together, everything is there. It's just got to be puzzled in together. Connor Neer is still on the team, Jimmy.
Yeah, and Johnny, I'm with you, bud. I am 100% with you. Year 3, no excuses, guys. This is BS. I'm tired of hearing it. Has to show it on the field. I'm with you. Hey, Johnny, I'm a believer in year 2 you have to show it, personally. I think, and you don't have time. You're in the SEC now. You have to be better. Listen, I think everybody on this show right now wants OU to win a national championship. We're OU fans. Of course, that's what OU fans want. You're not winning one if the defense doesn't step up and start playing like a top caliber defense. They have to continue to go up this way, and they have to get into the top 4 of the SEC, in my opinion, defensively, if they want to make a run. You may make the playoff at 12. That's fine. It'll be like it has before, though, if you're not defensively ready. Look at the teams that have won natties, Hunter. Michigan, great defensively. Georgia, great defensively. You're not winning one without a great defense. Not happening.
Yeah, it's not, and you do not want to be sneaking into the playoff at 11, because 12 is going to be the group of 5 team. It's going to be a road playoff game, round 1. And then, oh, by the way, round 2, you're playing a top 4 team. Yeah. You really want to get into that at minimum in the top 8.
Yeah. Thunder fan, they signed a guy today, Ben
Yeah,
Bach.
Bismack Biombo.
I'm not a fan.
I like the signing.
Not a fan.
7'7" wingspan.
I see a lot of people talking about zone coverage on here, Hunter. Not fans of it.
I agree. I am not a fan of the zone because it's the same bust every time. That's my issue. I don't mind zone if it's a different type of bust that you're seeing every now and then, but when it's consistently the same thing, teams are consistently attacking the exact same area of the field, and it constantly works for them. Big play after big play after big play. It doesn't work. And again, purple, 100% right there. Got to get to the quarterback.
And that goes along with Trap House because, Hunter, we've all talked about the edges and stuff, but if you can get a rush up the middle, that's how you completely blow up offenses because there's nowhere to run if you're coming up the middle. I mean, and if you can do that, if you have a guy that can take on, if you got one-on-one coverage in the interior and you can't beat your guy, that's a problem. In the SEC, you got to be able to do that. Switchfoot says Lewis is better than Kanik. I've seen a lot of people say that. And there's a difference. That's what it is. Tyler's dead on. You can play zone and be more aggressive. The zone, I think the zone, and it's a mindset, Hunter. It's kind of like the prevent defense. Sometimes that zone mindset is, well, now I can kind of just be a little more lax. But you got to be aggressive in the zone. You can't be lax.
A lot of times they'll play like the deepest to the deepest back. But hold completely truth to it. Oh, as long as I'm as deep as them. Well, no, they're catching it 10 yards in front of you and then making a play after the catch. That's where you look at all of the big plays OU allowed. Almost every single one of them, they got beat after the fact. It wasn't that they got beat beforehand and then a big play and that way. It was a big play because they're staying too far behind, and that prevents style of defense and just getting beat because they think, oh, go prevent. They're not going to get past you, and they do.
Well, and I see a lot of comments on here, and I think this is the most important thing of the defense this year, and it's the defensive line. We can talk about linebackers all we want, but, guys, if the defensive line isn't better, I mean, the defensive line has to be good for linebackers and OU's defense to really get. It doesn't
have to just be better. It has to be drastically.
I agree. And
it's honestly, you're getting to the point of no excuses there.
There are none, Hunter. There are none.
The interior, you have DeJoun Terry, who's played in the SEC before, and oh, by the way, was pretty good at it at Tennessee. Had a good year last year, but there's room for improvement there, and he has to take that jump. Jacob Lacey, fifth-year senior now, have to improve. And then David Stone, who's a 5-star. Like, it's freshman or not, SEC or not, he's a 5-star. David Stone is one of the best players in the country in that recruiting class. There's no excuses in that interior of the defensive line. And then I'm not even mentioning Grayson Halton yet.
Jaden Jackson.
Nigel Smith could even play some interior. There's so much talent there that it has to be improved.
Hunter, and I know your answer to this. Would you rather see OU versus USC or OU versus Oregon? The big question is, how would you feel if they went up against Dylan Gabriel?
I think what are you meaning by that? Like score, like a prediction who's gonna win the game or what?
No, would it be hard? Would it be hard for any Sooners like that just love Dylan Gabriel to have to play against him? Because I know you're a big Dylan Gabriel fan.
Yeah,
I would love our chances.
I like the storylines of it, and also maybe I'm a little more high on Dylan Gabriel than a lot of people. I think he's a really good quarterback that could beat OU. If you're going at the quarterback matchup between Oregon and USC, I would take Dylan Gabriel any day of the week as the better quarterback.
Yeah, Miller Moss.
Yeah, which Miller Moss looked really good in the bowl game, but I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
I think most fans would say they'd rather whoop up on Lincoln Riley.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the only fan that might say otherwise is maybe Jerm. He might say Dylan Gabriel because that's Jeremy, but and I'm sure he'll hop on even though
Hey,
Oregon.
I think there are right now, I think there's about 4 or 5 teams that I would say have a great chance they're going to be in the playoff, right? Georgia's one of them. I think Ohio State's one.
Ohio State.
I think Oregon's one.
Yeah.
I think those 3 are pretty much, I would say, turnkey playoff teams. Don't you think?
I would agree with you. I think there's 3 teams that you can pencil in right now way too early, February 10th, and it would be those 3.
Yeah. Jay's ready for trivia. Should I drop the trivia, Hunter?
Yeah, you should.
Okay. Hey, tomorrow's Super Bowl
might be a quick one.
Yeah, this could be pretty easy, but I didn't want to go too difficult tonight after last night's difficult trivia. But tomorrow's the Super Bowl. Since 1971, they've been using Roman numerals for the Super Bowl number. I just want to know what Super Bowl did they not use Roman numerals? Since 1971, what Super Bowl did they not use Roman numerals in? Drop it in the comments. First one to get it gets the point for the evening. Do you know it, Hunter?
Oh, yeah, I do. We talked about it beforehand.
2000, was that Super Bowl 50?
Hey, no. Don't give me the year. Give me the.
Well, Dalpost got it.
Dalpost got it.
Got it. Super Bowl 50. They did not want to go with the L as the logo, so decided to change it.
I think that's pretty weak, if you ask me.
I think it's very weak. Good job, Dalpost. Dalpost on a roll.
Dalpost is what? That's at least 2 nights in a row. He's now in first place. And last night,
Jay got the year.
Yeah, 2016, I believe, was the year.
Dude, I listened to something about Tom Brady today. I'm ready for him to start announcing football. I think he's going to be outstanding.
Isn't it? I believe it's next year.
He's going to be outstanding, dude.
He's with Fox, right?
He's going to be way better. We got to listen to Tony Romo announce tomorrow night's Super Bowl. I
wouldn't. I was a big Tony Romo fan until the Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen stuff happened because they can't do any wrong with him. It's my goodness.
It's going to be a Mahomes love fest tomorrow.
Mahomes literally goes under center and gets a snap, and that's the greatest play a quarterback's ever made. If you listen to Tony Romo, I don't even know what to call it, but whatever it is from Tony Romo towards Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, it's annoying, it's frustrating, it's not going to be enjoyable. So what are your thoughts on the halftime show, Jay?
I love Usher. I think it's great.
Really?
Yeah, I know you're not an Usher fan. It's not Zach Bryan. It's not Zach Bryan.
It's not Zach Bryan. For it not being Zach Bryan, the one in LA was pretty good. Snoop, Dr.
Listen, Reba McEntire is singing the national anthem, okay? But it's going to be hard to beat Chris Stapleton last year.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton, dude.
He killed it.
It made Nick Sirianni cry.
Those were fake tears. He's a big baby.
Yeah.
Sooner fans waiting on Metallica for the halftime, bro.
That would probably be a good one.
Hey, we haven't touched on it yet. It happened last night after we got off the live, so we haven't talked about it. But I want to talk about it tonight with y'all because you guys rock on the comments, and I love your input. You guys know college football. But I have to bring up this Alabama stuff with Ryan Grubb and possibly Scott Huff, the O-line coach, the OC, leaving for Seattle. Supposedly, they've known this for a while, but have not said anything because of the 30-day portal window. What are your thoughts on this, Hunter?
I think it absolutely should be a recruiting violation with some of the things that are violations that compliance has to deal with. For that,
you mean because they basically stayed there to get people to transfer in, and now
yes, and transfer in and to keep people around. The portal doesn't open when an assistant leaves. It only opens for a head coach. I do not. Mez said it. It's bad. It's lying to the kids.
Do you think it's true?
I mean,
it's
weird. It could be a coincidence that the Seahawks. And again, I'm with you on that. I'm just devil's advocate there. Could be a coincidence. Seahawks took a little while with how the NFL offseason works. Sometimes things drag out, but I do not like doing that for the recruiting benefits.
Hey, they won't be able to prove anything, Ron. You're right.
Yeah, they probably can't, but.
And here's the thing, guys. I think a few people, no, they can't. They can't go back into the port. Well, they can next period, you're saying, in the spring. Jay, that's a good point. But here's the thing is, I think people thought it. Hunter, me and you both said. Now, Jeremy's not on here to defend himself, but I'm going to say it anyway. He can watch this and be ticked off. But
Jeremy was pretty emotional about it last night.
Last night when he about ripped me off, he was mad. But DeBoer, I said it when it happened. Bad hire for Alabama. I don't think the fit's right. Can the guy coach? 100% yes, he can coach. Does he fit Alabama? I don't think so. I think it was a bad hire. That's my opinion.
I'm 100% with you. He can coach. He can coach pretty good. He's a really good coach. Doesn't fit Alabama. Can't recruit. Can't keep the players on roster. Can't even keep the coaches that went with them. Like they didn't even truly want to go with them to Alabama.
And those guys were his guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
my
not
biggest.
Going with him now. That's weird.
It's not like Brett Venables bringing in like Jeff Lebby, Ted Roof, guys that were from other schools at the time. Okay, like those guys were from Washington, going with them there to the number one job in college football. And now, I think that is such a blown.
No, it's not.
It was number one because of Nick Saban, man.
Hunter, Alabama's a top job in the country. Come on.
Because of Nick Saban.
No, Hunter, that's hogwash, man. That's hogwash.
Okay. Cool.
Hunter, I don't believe you on that. What's the top job in America then?
I don't know if I could give a single number.
It's a top job, though. It is a top job.
It is a top.
Okay, it's a step up from Washington. A big step up. Yes. Okay. So why did the two guys you bring that you really wanted, why are they now leaving? Already.
I don't know.
Did they ever take the job?
Yeah, I can't believe the whole situation, but a lot of people were talking about it kind of a few days leading up to it on how much coaches you're going to see going to the NFL because they're tired of this NIL, Wild West, and recruiting and transfer portal and just the amount of nonsense that coaches have to put up on a daily basis with now because there's no sort of regulations being down from the. Hey, did you see some of those before we get to that? Did you see that top 5 coaches in the country list from On3?
I didn't see. I heard about it.
Did you see who was number 2 on that?
Who?
Brian Kelly.
That's ridiculous.
Steve Sarkisian at 3, which I can't argue with, but Brian Kelly at 2. That's crazy to me.
Hey, and Johnny, this gets to what Hunter was saying. Hunter is agreeing with you here. I don't think it was either. Before Saban, I don't think it was. Now, listen, the whole thing that Pat Jones is saying about Texas, and I think Ron said it too, guys, Texas is a top job. It's one of the top jobs.
Especially with how Steve Sarkisian has brought them back. Maybe not before Sarkisian, that kind of 10-year period where it was rough for them between Mac Jones to now Sarkisian. But it's clearly one of the best jobs. Robert says it. They have a lot of money. They can recruit. They got the facilities. They got everything they need in Austin.
Hey, Dalpos says, I don't know if trying to follow Nick Saban is a good idea. How do you follow that? You don't. You won't. Nobody will. DeBoer can do the best job of his
I
career.
think Dan Lanning could have, but
No, he couldn't have. He couldn't have. Saban was unbelievable. You can't win as many as he won, man.
I'm not going to win as many as he won, but I think he could follow it up. I think he would have kept all the players.
Okay,
got coaching staff together.
Hey,
he can recruit.
Hey, what about this comment? I want to get to messes here. Texas is not easy with their boosters running their show. They pull every string. That's why Saban never went to Texas. Agree, mess. But now what has it turned into? Is it boosters now? Is it collectives? Is it what is it now with NIL?
I get what Mez is saying. I think Georgia, if you want to go with the school that's able to have a ton of boosters and then still not have the boosters kind of get in the way of things, that's Georgia.
Right now, I agree with you.
And the amount of boosters that they have with, Kirby Smart, all of that, it's why they're going to be the national championship favorite. I
agree. And Jay, me and Hunter both agree with you. Landing would have been a smoother transition. Jeremy, he does not agree with that, but he's not here. Kyla says, is Bama a playoff team in 24? I say no. Hunter?
I'm going to go no as of right now.
I'm saying Alabama has 4 losses.
Especially losing Ryan Grubb last night.
What offense is he going to run now?
Yeah, I don't know. And I wonder what the spring portal holds for them as well. Like, are you going to see offensive players leave more than that already did? I don't know.
Yeah.
Chad Gamble, 100% agree with you. And I'm for NIL, name, image, and likeness. I'm 100% for it. It's just no regulations, and it's the Wild West. I am excited for the NCAA video game this summer, though.
Yeah, Purple Orca says Bama over Notre Dame and Clemson. I just don't think Bama gets in. I think they have 4 losses. Johnny, thanks for joining us tonight. You got on live. Appreciate it, buddy. How are you? Welcome aboard. California guy. Awesome. Appreciate it, Johnny. That means a lot.
California. I think we have a few. I'm interested.
Yeah, there's a few in California. So appreciate that, Johnny.
California.
And then, do you think Bama has 4 losses, Hunter?
Yeah, I would say 4 at the moment.
Oh, he's saying as a job, he'd rather coach at Bama than Clemson Notre Dame. I agree. I think Clemson.
I agree on that. Yeah.
Clemson's I think, not going to be up there much longer. Once Dabo leaves, they're done.
Clemson only got up to that top tier status because of Dabo Swinney and Brent Venables. Before that, they weren't up there. Notre Dame hasn't been the same. And it's been a long time for them.
I don't think Freeman's the answer there.
I like Freeman a lot.
Really?
He's
not ready. He's not ready.
I could maybe agree with you on that. I don't know.
I think he's a good mind and a good coach. He will be. He's not ready.
I think Notre Dame in general is kind of almost, I don't know if you call it like a curse or what, but you watched it against Ohio State. They lost the game because they didn't have enough people on the field.
Yeah, Johnny, thanks so much. Joining the live for the first, gets on here, catches a good live, straight on live, and drops a super. Thanks so much, Johnny. Appreciate you, bud. Where does UCLA rank? Bottom. They're bad. They're falling apart.
They were bad even with.
They're falling apart.
And now they're in a position where signing day has passed. UCLA they got done dirty by Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
And
but
really,
look at Chip Kelly's is he kind of a dirty guy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into that, but yeah, you're right. It's just it sucks for them because you can't even recruit now. Signing day has passed. Everybody is signed. You can't
portal,
but you can lose everybody.
You can portal out, but you can't portal in.
Yeah, you can't portal in. You could lose every single one of your recruits if that's what they want to do, and you can't even bring in people. You're going to be having to go to the uncommitted, unsigned guys, and at this point, that's not a skill group you're going to be wanting to go to.
No, and Bobby, unlimited member. Guys, appreciate you, Bobby. And this is a great point. I'd like to move into this now. And you know my feelings on this, Hunter. When players enter the portal and people get mad, I think that's ridiculous. Players can do whatever they want. It's their job. It's their life. If they want to better themselves and get paid somewhere else, why can't they do it? Coaches do it all the freaking time. And what you're seeing with Alabama, OC goes over there, now leaving for the NFL, didn't even last 30 days there. I mean, what is that? I mean, players can do whatever they want now. That's what bothers me is when people say, and I've been on the side of saying, well, they got to have rules in place for the portal. But then you got to have rules in place for coaches too. I'm sorry. If you're going to limit, the players are now paid, Hunter. So if you're going to limit the players from what?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If you're going to limit the players from transferring, then maybe the coaches have to stick to their contract or something. Or if the coach leaves, they got to sit out of here.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I know I'm
either.
probably going to come on here all the time, you too, Jay, and just complain about it. I am glad I'm not the person making the decisions because it's a very tough decisions to be made in trying to balance everything out.
I did not read this. That's interesting. Ryan Chapman says the operating revenue was $199 million. Hey, yeah. Hunter, can you?
I just dropped it in there for you, Johnny.
Okay, he just dropped it. You can click on that to join. That would be awesome. You can, when you do that, make sure you join the Discord link as well, so you can chat with us on that. Dalpo says that's why NIL sucks so bad. It's killed the loyalty and made it all about money. Just not a good look. But there's never been loyalty with coaches. Never.
No.
Never.
A few programs had loyalty, but even then, you're starting to see it go out the window more and more and more.
Yeah, they can leave whenever they want. I mean,
and Mez is right. I was going to bring that up a minute ago. Yeah, I thought UCLA was going to fire Chip Kelly. So maybe it's partially on them. They should have just fired him. Really, they should have. Like, they were heading into that direction. It was not working out there. It just sucks for them because, I mean, now you're scrambling to try to keep your recruits and your players, and you can't even bring in anybody worth bringing in to fill in those holes.
Well, and this I understand what you're saying here. Yeah, there are fans that would get mad at that. If they spend $100 on a jersey and the guy picks up and goes somewhere else, I agree with that. I'd be mad. But
hey,
at the same time,
Fanatics does all the jerseys. They need to add the jersey insurance, man. I have a jersey that is now not the right number because the player switched numbers. So,
what's up, Hubs? PJ Fleck turned down UCLA, is what Jet says.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him. I mean, is that even a better job than Minnesota? I mean, it probably more. I think PJ Fleck's overrated anyway. I do.
I don't know. He did a lot at Minnesota and has continued to do so.
Hey, the fan stop says, do you foresee buyouts in NIL contracts such as in coaches' contracts? I would love if you could do that. I don't know how you're going to do that, but I would love to see a fact that. But when you do that, you're pretty much going into a whole nother level.
See, I like the idea, but I think at that point, it's just pretty much, it's like it's tempting the schools to do it. Like, the money isn't the concern, the ones that are going to want to do it. Like, it's like playing with the dog by holding the treat up from them. Like, eventually they're going to, that's how you get your hand bit. Like, you're just you're tempting them to go down that route.
And Jen says she thinks so. She's responding to fan stuff there, and maybe so. How long is it going to take to get there? I don't know. There's going to be so much parameters in place to do it.
I don't know what
I don't think they have buyout clauses though. That's what we're talking about.
I don't know what the solution is with NIL. I honestly don't, because
the solution is name, image, likeness.
Yeah, but it's so far past that how do you go back?
You don't.
You're so far one way to go opposite. Like it can't.
The problem is they made it. They made it go official NIL without having rules in place. That's where the problem is. They should have waited till they had name, image, and likeness figured out.
Don't
they don't.
Get how, like with NIL, it's not like Charlie Baker. I'm just saying. I don't even think he was in his position at the time. It's not like he just woke up one day and said, "You know what? Let's do this NIL, name, image, and likeness. It's time for it." It was known for a long time before it went into effect on July 1st of, was it 2020 or something, 2021? I don't remember what year it was. Whatever year it was that it went into place. Like, how could you have something go into effect without concrete rules surrounding it? Like,
hey, and Bobby says David Shaw has son on team with UCLA. Hey, David Shaw would be a great fit for UCLA. We'll see if they go after him. What, Mark? What do you mean by this? Because DG left money on the table when he hit the portal. DG made good money in the portal. He didn't leave any money out there, in my opinion.
I think he's meaning like he didn't get his OU money still. Which, yeah, that's.
Well, I see what he's saying there. Matt Campbell absolutely missed his shot. He did, Hunter. He still could in a few years, but I think he's going to stay at Iowa State for a long time.
He should have. I liked Matt Campbell a lot at first when he really started to be on the rise, and then the temper tantrums on the sidelines became too much.
And I think Purple is saying ban all collectives. If that's what you're saying, Purple, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of the collectives at all. It's fans should not have to be paying for a team to win a national championship. Your average Joe type of fans.
Yeah, there's fans that want to give to it, and that's fine. People that can afford it, whatever. But I've said this before, and I can donate money and be a part of a collective, $10 a month. Okay, that's fine. But it's the coming after for more money. Well, OU didn't win. Fans aren't donating enough. That's what bothers me. And you heard coaches in the last season, Hunter. One of them was Mark Stoops, basically going after a fan saying, you guys need to pay more money if you want us to beat Georgia, right?
Oh, Stoops said that?
On a coach's show.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, it's not the fans' responsibility. Yes, if you present it in the way some of these SEC teams present it, join the collective, $10 a month, help support NIL. Fine. But don't be coming begging for money. That's what I don't want. And that's what it's going to, Hunter, it's going to get to begging for money if they're losing. And it's going to be the reason we're not winning because we're not getting enough from fan support.
Well, right? You go to an OU game and you want a pizza and a water. It's $18.
What, Hunter? Let me ask you this:
and a water.
Why can't they up certain prices of tickets or whatever and have that money go towards it?
I mean, I told you this on the phone the other day. If you raise ticket prices by $10 per ticket, OU Stadium holds 85,000 people. You have about 6 home games every year. I believe, unless I messed up on the math, that's $5 million right there from a $10 ticket. And see, I don't even think they should raise the prices.
Yeah.
The prices are already too high and everything. And cost of a water at a game is like $5.50. Like
here's another thing, Hunter. And here's another thing is, if I'm donating, I kind of like what Mark says. If I'm donating, wouldn't you kind of want to know where your money's going? How do you know where's it going?
It's like donating to politicians. You don't know where it's going. Like,
and Purple's right. That would require the ability of the school to pay the athletes.
And maybe that needs to be the solution. I don't know. I don't like the rule that Mark Purple saying that schools can't pay the athletes, but collectives can. I just don't like collectives. Just sum it up that way.
What's up, Binghorns? Thanks for joining tonight. Aggies put it to y'all tonight. You're right. I watched some of that game. Tennessee's really good this year in basketball. I was surprised by that. But
surprised? Hey, you're surprised by that? They're always pretty good, man.
But Tennessee's really good this year, Hunter.
Oh, I thought you were meaning you're surprised that Tennessee is good, not by the game. Sorry, my bad.
Kyla says $5 a month for 90,000 fans is over $5 million alone. I understand what you're saying, Kyla, but that's 90,000 people to pay $5 a month. I mean,
but they're not getting that much already. I think it's time to move on with some of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm annoyed.
You get annoyed by NIL again?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. We could talk about it all day long. Craig says, what's up, Craig? Appreciate you joining. Yeah, OU needs to change something defense. They got to be top 4. That's what we talked about earlier in the show. It is almost like a minor league, though. Kind of what Jet's saying here. That's kind of what it's going to turn into if you go this route.
Yeah, what it does turn into. You see Big 12 and SEC kind of joining forces with how wild college football has started to go. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe there's 34 teams between those two conferences, and there's 32 teams in the NFL. So who knows? Who knows where it goes?
Yeah, and we don't have an answer for NIL. Nobody does. Nobody does, in my opinion. It's just and right now it's just out there.
Brian Bedford had a few good answers.
Well, Brian Bedford, he's on. Yeah, he knows a lot more about it than most people.
I think like people like him that are knowledgeable and don't necessarily have a dog in the fight is what needs to happen. They need a lot of people like that have the knowledge behind it all, but don't necessarily have a conflict of interest to be involved in the situation.
Put the genie back in the bottle. Hey, Purple Orca says, I wonder if conferences can make a rule you can't transfer within a conference. They need to. They used to have that rule, Purple. Do you remember that? You could not, if you transferred within conference, you had to sit out 2 years.
Isn't it back somewhat in the SEC? I thought so, at least.
There is a rule coming into place that is that.
But you can't.
Yeah, SEC has a rule, Jet says. That's right. If SEC and Big Ten leave the NCAA behind, what happens to years of eligibility? Does that still stay thing? I don't know. That's a whole nother issue.
Again, it's I don't even know what to think about all of that because there's so many different possibilities that it could be. With the way the NCAA, it's changing. Like, it's just changing.
Robert says if NIL ran off the best college football coach from the game, must not be good. I just think there's a lot of – listen, if you're a coach that have never dealt with NIL and you've been dominating and you're kind of been around college football for a ton of years like Nick Saban, you're not going to want to mess with NIL. You're just – I might as well retire now, right? I mean, and
retired,
who knows if that's why I retired, but, I mean,
they had to have much money probably to go talk on ESPN and not have to deal with the stress and nonsense of being a college coach because it seems like everyone's talking about it right now because of the way everything aligns. December is a month full of bowl prep just for a normal bowl game. Oh, wait, you're going to the playoff. You're playing for a national championship still. You also have to go recruit in-house for those days that are allowed. Solidify your recruiting class in December, and you have to be active in the portal. I mean, coaches already, you see a lot of times of one of the main reasons for a coach to retire is the lack of time with family.
Yeah.
And now you're throwing 3 things into one. It's just there's no time for these coaches to be able to get everything done that needs to be done.
Yeah. And Mark says an NFL job is looking real sweet versus a 365-day recruiting cycle in college. That's right, because you've heard all the coaches say it now. You're not just recruiting high school athletes. You're recruiting your own athletes at your school
and
to not leave.
Yeah.
To not leave.
Yep.
I mean, so anyway, good conversations tonight, guys. Appreciate all the inputs. One more time on the fan stop here. A lot of OU fans on here. lot of Toby Keith fans. They have a officially licensed Toby Keith red Solo Cup OU shirt. Okay. If you go to the link in the comments, Hunter's put it in the comments. You go to that link and buy the shirt, you get 10% off. Okay. And some of the proceeds from that shirt go towards the Toby Keith Foundation. We've already had a bunch of you on here buy it. Thank you. That's great. So please do that.
Just one more thing. If you can't find it pinned in the chat, it's also in the description for you. Appreciate you guys for checking that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And appreciate all y'all on here this Saturday night. Thank you, Johnny Brown, so much for the super. Thanks for being on here, Johnny. Good to have you on here live tonight. Have fun at work this evening. Appreciate all you guys. Maybe we end it with the Super Bowl prediction, Hunter. Who do you got?
Super Bowl prediction, man. Kills me to say it because I can't stand them. I'm going with the 49ers. Brock Purdy's going to manage his way to a Super Bowl.
I'm going to go Chiefs 31, Niners 27. I can't pick against Mahomes. I can't. I can't. Andy Reid. To me, though, these are the two best coaches in the NFL that you have tomorrow. I think they're the two best. I really do. So, can we get a red cup for the members icon?
Let me see what I can do. I'll see if I can get it done for a limited time for a month or so. And if I do, I'll make a community post.
Okay, there we go.
So
Bobby says 38-35 9. It should be a good. That's the one thing I'm excited about. I think it will be a really good game. So appreciate all y'all.
It'll be a good game. Just do not like that Brock Purdy is getting an A on a group project with the amount of just all-time talent around him.
Yeah, that's true. So thank you guys so much. Please, before you get off here, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. It really does. Thank you for being a part of Sooner Surge, Double Trouble Nightly. I couldn't do it without you every night. I mean, we do this every night, and it's because of y'all on here with the comments rolling. So appreciate you guys so much. Have a great Sunday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.